25, almost 30 years ago, I was labeled as a displaced housewife. Very unflattering term for women who were heading into the job market after having been out of it for a long number of years, raising children and keeping the and keeping the house. I was working in an elementary school library, and I absolutely loved doing story times, working with the kids, helping them check books out, but putting the books back on the shelf. I don't know if you've ever shelved books in a children's library, but every book goes on the bottom shelf. I don't know how that works, and the spines are about this big, and if you have bifocals and are trying to read the bottom shelf, I soon realized I could not do this as much as I loved it for the rest of my life. So I decided that I needed to go to school and to get my education so that I could do something more than crawl on the floor and shelf books. I decided to register at Penn State, York. Now, gentlemen, cover your ears. Most of you ladies know this. There comes a point in a woman's life where the bladder doesn't always work the way it's supposed to. It decides to release when you stand up, or you sit down, or you sneeze, or you walk across the room, or you pick something up. And I was at that stage in my life. So I had registered. I'd managed to get myself on campus and registered, and it was the first day of class, so I went early and loaded my backpack up at the bookstore with all these 75-pound books. I don't know why textbooks are so heavy. And I pick up my backpack to leave the bookstore. I picked up my soda, and of course, the bladder decided at that point it was going to release. So I got back to my car, and I slipped my underpants off and shoved them under the front seat of the car. And I'm on my way to class saying, "You can do this, you can do this, you can do this." I got to class. I don't remember anything about that class other than sitting there telling myself, keep your knees together, keep your knees together, keep your knees together, because of course I was wearing a skirt. I have no remembrance of that first class at all. Luckily, they give you a syllabus so you can look back and see what you missed. Well, as we were leaving class, I was parked at the bottom of the hill, and the class building was at the top of the hill. So I'm walking down the hill and talking to this nice young man that had sat beside me in class, and I have my soda bottle, and I'm sort of opening and closing as we're walking and talking, and I have my backpack on, and I dropped the lid of the soda bottle. Without thinking, I bent forward to pick it up. Well, the weight of that 120-pound backpack flipped over me, flipped me in a complete, I think, 1.5 with a twist, Simone Biles at her best, onto the lawn. Luckily, I didn't land on the sidewalk. My head facing down the hill, my skirt over my head, and everything there to be seen by the whole world. And this poor young man, I think I scarred him for life. Yeah. But even worse is everybody on campus decides they're going to run and help. No, I don't need any help. I'm going to get up. I'm going to somehow get my dignity. Ran back to my car, sat in my car, and realized I'd broken 3 legs, 4 ribs, and my neck. It hurt so bad, But I'm sitting there, and I'm breathing, and it's like, that's it. I am never, ever setting foot back on this campus, because everyone will know who I am and what I did. I just knew it. So I sit there for a little while longer, and I think, you know what? You always think about the worst thing that could possibly happen. Well, it had already happened. It couldn't get much worse than that. It had actually happened. So after I got enough of my energy together, I drove home and slowly walked up the stairs to my apartment and laid out on the bed, and I thought, I don't think I can ever move again. But the next day I made it to work, and I made it back to class, and I thoroughly enjoyed my education, and I got my associate, and then I got my bachelor's, and I went on and got my master's and became a librarian. But the story of the underpants under my seat, somehow I forgot. that I had put them there. About 3 weeks later, I go to get my car worked on, and I pull up into the garage, and, this nice young man gets out, and he, going to fix my car for me. Of course, my seat is all the way as close as they can get to the steering wheel because I really don't have legs. And they push the seat all the way back, and there, on display for everyone to see, was my dirty underpants. And I think they were probably thinking, what in the world does this woman do that she leaves her underpants under the front seat of her car? So